Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? TGIF. TGIF. A little late to start the broadcast. Sorry about that. You'll know why in just a minute. Let me see. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Hello, America! Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I was a little bit late today because I just finished recording an interview, which I'm going to tell you guys in a little bit. We have a huge Sunday marathon live stream for you with 3 big guests. So I'm going to tell you about that in a little bit. It is... what is today? Friday, the February the 1st. So one more. We've just entered a new month in the oligarchy. Let me remind you of your checklist. Smash the like button. Smash it into smithereens. Smash it like it's Cory Booker telling you he's running a campaign on love and unity. Smash it like it's Dick Cheney interrupting your wedding. Smash it like it is Nancy Pelosi telling you to eat your broccolis. Smash it, smash it, smash it. The more people who like the live stream, the more people that see the live stream. So remember to like it. Also, become a Status Coup member. Statuscoup.com/join. Statuscoup.com/join. We are only going to grow, and we are only going to be able to cover the campaign the more people that the more people that watch the live stream. So very, very important. Definitely like the live stream and become a member. Follow us at Twitter on Status Coup, at Status Coup, and at Jordan Chariton. Subscribe to our podcast, bit.ly/Status Coup podcast. And you can join our email list at statuscoup.com. You say is a little buffering. Let me see if I can get rid of some things here. Hold on. Farewell. I've come to see you go. Cory. All right. Hopefully that's a little better and not buffering as much. So it's been a big week. Again, definitely consider becoming a member. We got a great phone call yesterday from a very high-level Michigan official who is interested in our report that we broke last year, showing that the state of Michigan's environmental agency had cooked the data in Flint. So today I spent some time, working on getting them information. In the future, I will tell you who that official was that called me, but pretty high up there. So that's very positive that we're finally getting some results from the state of Michigan. Let me know if you're still buffering. It's showing okay on my end, but let me know if you're still buffering. I hope not. I'll be back in my apartment for the Sunday show, so it should be a little better as far as quality. So, Senator Cory Booker. Senator Cory Booker of Cory Booker is running for president on love and unity. Love and unity is Cory Booker's message. So are you guys on like an empty stomach or on a full stomach? Because if you're on an empty stomach, you might want to turn away. But out of fairness, here's Cory Booker's announcement video.
In America, we have a common pain, but what we're lacking is a sense of common purpose. What's up? Amen! I grew up knowing that the only way we can make change is when people come together. When I was a baby, my parents tried to move us into a neighborhood with great public schools, but realtors wouldn't sell us a home because of the color of our skin. A group of white lawyers who had watched the courage of civil rights activists were inspired to help black families in their own community, including mine. And they changed the course of my entire life. Because in America, courage is contagious. My dad told me, boy, never forget where you came from or how many people had to sacrifice to get you where you are. So over 20 years ago, I moved into the Central Ward of Newark to fight slumlords and help families stay in their homes. I still live there today, and I'm the only senator who goes home to a low-income inner-city community, the first community that took a chance on me. We are better when we help each other. The history of our nation is defined by collective action, by interwoven destinies of slaves, abolitionists, of those born here and those who chose America as home, those who took up arms to defend our country, and those who linked arms to challenge and change it. I believe that we can build a country where no one is forgotten, no one is left behind, where parents can put food on the table, where there are good-paying jobs with good benefits in every neighborhood, where our criminal justice system keeps us safe instead of shuffling more children into cages and coffins, where we see the faces of our leaders on television and feel pride, not shame. It is not a matter of can we. It's a matter of do we have the collective will, the American will. I believe we do. Together, we will channel our common pain back into our common purpose. Together, America, we will rise. I'm Cory Booker, and I'm running for President of the United States of America.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Are you guys ready to rise? Are you guys ready? Are you ready to rise from the ashes of the oligarchy? You ready to, just all we need is love. All we need is love, love. All we need is love. So, watching these videos, it's just, call me cynical. Call me cynical, but who is he talking about that is... Who is he talking about that we need love for? Who is he talking about we need love? Is he talking about Wall Street? Is he talking about big pharmaceutical companies? The real estate industry? Fossil fuel companies? I mean, it's a very flowery message from Cory Booker. I believe in love. I believe in, us all coming together, kumbaya, and, being one happy country. But I don't know who he's talking about. But I do know his record, and I do know the money he takes, and I do know his votes. And Cory Booker is the farthest thing from love and unity. Exhausted 11, Cory and Kamala share a bubble. I couldn't agree more. So I'll just give you an overview. We're going to go into detail on some of him. But here's Cory Booker's history in the Senate, who he takes money from. This is from opensecrets.org. Booker's entry into the race was expected, and he will likely be a prominent fundraiser with one college friend ready to raise $10 million by the end of March. That college friend is somebody who created a super PAC already for Cory Booker. So Cory Booker's saying that he's not going to take corporate PAC money, yet one of his college friends is literally creating a super PAC for him and has already put in $10 million. So I'm sure that college friend of his who put in $10 million, that Cory doesn't know about it. And Cory has told him, I don't want you to create a super PAC for me. I'm sure that's the conversation they had. It's this wink-wink where candidates say, I'm not taking corporate PAC money, but then like their friends or top donors create super PACs in their name. And basically the candidate gets the benefit of that super PAC, funneling Ohio and South Carolina and New Hampshire and all these states with nonstop advertising, calling candidates like Cory Booker the next coming of Jesus. So it's kind of disingenuous to say, oh, I'm not taking corporate PAC money, but your best friend is pumping in $10 million to your super PAC that you say you have nothing to do with. Well, Hillary Clinton said she had nothing to do with Correct the Record and Priorities USA, and WikiLeaks showed, oh, well, actually, no, they illegally coordinated. But of course, the laws don't apply there. So His campaign said they would not support super PAC spending money on his behalf. However, the campaign cannot actually prevent outside groups from making independent expenditures, which is what I just said. Joseph Ballard getting us started in the super chat. $2. My mother says Cory Booker would be a great president. Joseph, I would never, ever criticize your mother, but I do think you need to show her this video. Would never, ever criticize your mother, Joseph, but she needs to watch this to get informed. So, and by the way, we got the GoFundMe going and a lot of other things going. We're at, what are we at now? $41,031. And when you see the lineup we have for this Sunday, I think you're going to want to donate. So I'll put the link to the GoFundMe right there in the super chat. And of course, we do need to grow our membership, which we'll get to in a minute. So Cory Booker, been a senator since 2013. Look at the breakdown here. Look at that breakdown. Woo! Over $3 million from lawyers and law firms. These lawyers and law firms, this category is largely, lobbyists, financial attorneys, former lawmakers that then became attorneys that do financial and law, represent, companies in Washington, D.C., foundations, this and that. So those kinds. These aren't exactly like the ACLU's lawyer. Rob, you keep talking about your GoFundMe comment. I can't find it. I put it in the live chat. You have to give me your last name because I can't find your GoFundMe comment. I'll read it. I just can't find it. So if I have your last name, it'll be easier to find it. So thank you, Lisa, $5 in the super chat. I like how you keep WikiLeaks and those emails in the picture. Thank you for talking about them. They're important. I don't care what the propaganda out there. They're important. So lawyers and law firms, over $3 million. Almost $3 million from securities and investment. That would be Wall Street. What is that? Over 1.5 million. Real estate. Not exactly real estate people trying to build affordable housing. You're talking about developers there in New Jersey and New York. TV movies, that's fine. Retired, don't care. But look at those top three. He's been a senator for 5 years. Wall Street. Laws and law firms, big real estate developers. We continue. Booker, the former mayor of Newark, has been in the national spotlight since his first unsuccessful mayoral race in 2002. Was covered in the Oscar-nominated documentary Street Fight. A member of the Senate since 2013, Booker has been one of the most staunchly liberal senators. I don't know about that. He's a co-sponsor of Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All bill and has been active in advocating for legislation loosening the federal government's law on marijuana. One of his biggest achievements was his work on the passage of the bipartisan First Step Act, which addressed one of Booker's biggest issues, criminal justice reform. No, I don't have a problem with the First Step Act. Should be noted, Koch brothers were into that First Step Act, but I go on. Some of his other positions share more ground with Republicans than his fellow Democrats. He famously defended Bain Capital during the 2012 presidential race. I guess that's a good segue. Here is him defending Bain Capital in the 2012 election.
I know you're not. I know you defend the president, but I have to tell you this: when I talk to business leaders, Jim, this is the difference in a lot of cases between Washington figures and local officials like yourself, who are out there trying to grow the economy, who say, hey, wait a minute, let's not indict all of private equity, and yet you have a campaign that's making him out to be Gordon Gekko. They want the voters to think that Mitt Romney is Gordon Gekko and Wall Street greed and a throwback.
Well, again, I talk to the White House quite often. I'm a surrogate for the Obama campaign. The messages that they're sending me out to talk about is nothing about this. Mm-hmm. They're talking about very clearly the average American, middle-class Americans. In fact, over 90% of Americans have seen tax cuts under this president. Small businesses like the ones that are in my city have benefited tremendously from incentives for investment, rewards for creating jobs, rewards for hiring veterans. So on the issues that matter in the communities, I see the Obama administration having stepped up and just needing to get their voice out more. Even Obamacare, as people talk about, when you poll Obamacare, it doesn't do well, but when you start polling the aspects of it, people in this country support that legislation. But the last point I'll make is this kind of stuff is nauseating to me on both sides. It's nauseating to the American public, enough is enough. Stop attacking private equity. Stop attacking Jeremiah Wright. This stuff has got to stop, because what it does is it undermines, to me, what this country should be focused on. It's a distraction from the real issues. It's either going to be a small campaign about this crap, or it's going to be a big campaign, in my opinion, about the issues that the American public cares about.
Yeah, Mitt Romney buying up companies, watering them down with debt, then laying off all the workers, and when they lay off the workers, having those workers actually build the stage for people like Mitt Romney to then go on the stage that the workers built and announce you're firing. Let's just ignore that crap, shall we? Let's stop focusing on that crap and that distraction. This is a man who's progressive, defending Bain Capital. And, Mitt Romney has been, kind of revived in the halls of Washington as this, he's one of the sane Republicans, and now he's such a graceful politician who's taking it to Trump. Mitt Romney is a vulture capitalist who made his money by screwing workers and screwing the middle class and working class. Okay? So you're sitting there saying, let's not attack private equity. You know what? My older brother, for example, he works at a hedge fund. He's a good guy. He follows the law. He voted for Obama, and he voted against Trump. He's not like scum. I love my older brother. But, so again, I do agree. Let's not blanket the whole industry as a bunch of awful people. But when you're talking about Bain Capital, that's not a company that made its money by adding anything to society. That's a company that made its money by destroying working class and middle class people's lives. So, and is it at all connected? Is it at all connected when he's saying that to the fact that he was getting enormous amounts of money from private equity, Wall Street bankers, and hedge fund managers? Could it have anything to do with that? That he went on Meet the Press and said, knock it off attacking Bain Capital. Just knock it off. Get the hell out of here. But I digress. And remember, we have almost 200 people watching, but only 105 likes. So there's about 100 of you asleep at the switch here. We need to press that like button so more people will see this live stream. More people that press the like button, the more people that will see this live stream. I promise you, it's a thing. And there's the GoFundMe link. There's the GoFundMe link. So, let's continue with progressive hippie, newly found hippie that all we need is love, Cory Booker. His support of the anti-BDS movement could coincide with the significant financial support he receives from pro-Israel groups. In 2014, his largest overall contributor was NORPAC, which donated $158,871, much of it earmarked for Booker by individuals giving to the PAC. NORPAC states its mission as to support congressional members who demonstrate a genuine commitment to the strength, security, and survival of Israel. One of the issues they mention on the group's site is opposition to BDS. Also, in his last Senate race, he received money from 8 other pro-Israel PACs, totaling $36,527. So I'm sure that's why. He is against the anti-BDS movement. It must be. So, Booker has been a powerful fundraiser in his time in the Senate. Since 2013, he raised more than $25.9 million. In the 2018 cycle, a cycle in which he was not running, Booker's campaign brought in more than $8.3 million in total. $8.3 million in the 2018 cycle. And he wasn't even running. An issue that may arise in the 2020 Democratic primary is the close relationship between the pharmaceutical industry and Cory Booker. New Jersey hosts the headquarters of many major pharmaceutical companies, and they have long had good relations with the New Jersey delegations. Booker said in 2017 that he would, quote, put a pause on accepting money from the industry. This was after he received heavy criticism for helping kill a bill sponsored by Sanders to lower drug prices. In 2016, pharmaceutical PACs gave $50,500 to Booker. Becton, Dickinson and Co., Bristol Myers, Squibb, and Sanofi PACs all contributed $5,000 each in 2016. Before that, in 2014, a cycle he was actually running in, Booker's campaign took in $161,000 in pharmaceutical PAC money. Pfizer contributed $17,500. Merck and Company gave $12,500, and several more gave $10,000 each. And I'm sure this had nothing to do with Cory Booker joining Senate Republicans to kill a measure to import cheaper medicine from Canada. Couldn't be! It cannot have anything to do with. Jordan, are you saying these people are corrupt? Are you saying that these people like Cory Booker vote in favor of donors rather than the people they represent? I mean, you know the story by now. Bernie Sanders introduced a very simple symbolic amendment Wednesday night, urging the federal government to allow Americans to purchase pharmaceutical drugs from Canada, where they are considerably cheaper. Such unrestricted drug importation is currently prohibited by law. The policy has widespread support among Americans. One Kaiser poll taken in 2015 found that 72% of Americans are in favor of allowing for importation. President-elect Donald Trump also campaigned on a promise to allow for importation. The Senate voted down the amendment 52-46, with 2 senators not voting. Unusually, the vote was not purely along party lines. 13 Republicans joined Sanders and a majority of Democrats in supporting the amendment, while 13 Democrats and a majority of Republicans opposed it. One of those Democrats in New Jersey was New Jersey's Cory Booker, who is considered a rising star. In a statement to the media after the vote, Booker's office said he supports the importation of prescription drugs, but that any plan to allow the importation of prescription medications should also include consumer protections that ensure foreign drugs meet American standards. So let me fill you in on a little bit of the secret. Let me fill you in. You know how Republican politicians basically are walking press releases for the fossil fuel industry, and Republican politicians and Republican media figures basically echo the fossil fuel industry's talking points. So pipelines are safer than trains to transport oil and all this nonsense. The main talking point of the pharmaceutical industry on why we should not import cheaper medicine from countries like Canada is it's not safe, and we need to ensure that the medicine has the proper oversight and review before we import. We could be importing these cheaper drugs that are not tested and not safe for American consumers. By the way, a lot of these Canadian drugs, this is how sick the American system is. A lot of these Canadian drugs that Bernie Sanders was talking about importing into America for cheaper, guess where they're actually manufactured? These Canadian drugs. That Cory Booker's saying, well, we got to be careful. Can't just willy-nilly have Canadian drugs flowing into the United States without severe regulation. Guess where they're manufactured? Do 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 do. America! I need to get a buzzer for when you guys get it right. Thank you, Star Trekking. Yes, a lot of these drugs are manufactured in America and then sent to Canada, where their citizens, Canadian citizens, enjoy the medicine. And us, to get our own medicine that we manufactured here, we can't get it. And Cory Booker supports that system. Is that what he's talking about, love and unity? Is he talking about love and unity with our Canadian brothers and sisters? I mean, it's so corrupt, and it's so fraudulent. He's so fraudulent. And, I think the media, it's already been shown who they're in love with Kamala Harris. But, you're going to see them buying into this message of love and unity. And, that's a great contrast to Donald Trump. And none of them, no one on CNN, no one in the New York Times, nobody at like BuzzFeed or any of these places, none of them are actually going to look into his record. Not one. And by the way, I don't know Cory Booker. He might be a very nice guy. So I don't really care about him personally. But on policy, this guy is a fraud. There's no other way to say it. He's a fraud. But we don't have media that points that out. He is a fraud. So, here we go. Throughout his Senate career, PAC contributions have played a major part in his fundraising. Since 2013, Booker's campaign has been given more than $2 million in PAC funds, particularly from business PACs, which make up almost 76% of PAC contributions in his career. In the 2018 cycle, PACs from the communications and electronics sector led the way with $49,500 in contributions. One communications industry PAC was T-Mobile USA, which gave Booker's campaign $6,000 in 2018. T-Mobile has been pursuing a merger with Sprint, which Booker expressed concerns over. The finance, insurance, and real estate industry PACs have also been a major Booker supporter, taking the #1 industry PAC spot in 2014 and ranking second in 2018. In 2018, his campaign received a combined $40,500 from that sector. So, are you beginning to sense a pattern here, folks? Am I being mean? Is this, as the folks on Twitter say, a personal attack against Cory Booker? Am I just being mean to Senator Booker? Or is he a public servant that if he's going to run for president, well, his record is fair game? Joe says, all you need is love. If I wasn't going to get a copyright strike from YouTube, I would play it over and over. And I just want to show you the baloney that's being fed. This is what I was getting on Twitter today when I pointed a lot of these things out that I'm talking to you about now. So apparently, here's a fact. Booker represents an area of the country where a lot of people that work for banks live. He didn't get millions in donations from banks. He got millions in donations from people that work at banks, including secretaries and janitors. This is misleading BS. Yeah, the $3 million, almost $3 million in donations he got from employees. He's right. It's not from the companies. It's from individuals working for the companies. I'm sure that the almost $3 million he's gotten from Wall Street, it must have come from the secretaries, the janitors, the people in charge of office supplies, cleaning the bathroom. And I'm not knocking secretaries and janitors. They have a hard job and they do good work. But it must be that he's made almost $3 million in 5 years from janitors working at Goldman Sachs. And, generally speaking, when I see a Twitter account with I love Nancy Pelosi on top of it, I have to question their motives. Mohammed Levy, good point. Those are some well-paid janitors. This is the ridiculousness. And you hear this argument from these idiots on Twitter. I don't know if they work for David Brock's Correct the Record or if they're just stupid. But saying, Jordan, you're being dishonest. It's not the companies themselves donating to the candidate. It's people who work for the companies. What? Well, do you think it's like the low-level worker bees at Goldman Sachs that are donating to Cory Booker? You think it's the janitors? You think it's the low-level employees at these pharmaceutical companies that are donating to Cory Booker? You think it was the low-level workers for Time Warner, which, as I reported last week, Time Warner, the former parent company of CNN, it was CNN's parent company until last year. You think it was the low-level employees at Time Warner that were donating to Kamala Harris's campaign? Because Time Warner, workers who work for Time Warner, is Kamala Harris's top donor in her 2 years Senate campaign. Maybe Cory Booker's campaign slogan should be make janitors great again. It's unbelievable. And, you know, you're not going to see this in corporate media, so let me just tell you, some people that are attached to Cory Booker, I know I'm being mean. And smash that like button. We're at 200 viewers, so let's get it up a little bit if you haven't liked. So this is from the New York Times. Well, perhaps no potential Democratic candidate counts more billionaire potential financiers as friends or allies than Mr. Booker, who attended Stanford and wooed investment from Silicon Valley when he was Newark mayor, including a $100 million donation for schools from Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. Well, we know Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook is doing wonderful things for America nowadays, like stealing your data, giving out your private information, and all that. When Mr. Booker helped open a startup years ago, investors included Reid Hoffman of LinkedIn. He also had close ties to the family of Donald Sussman, one of the party's most generous givers. Mr. Booker officiated the wedding of one of Mr. Sussman's daughters. Another hosted a fundraiser for him at her Hamptons home last summer. Maybe Kamala Harris was there, because we know Kamala Harris likes to go to the Hamptons to meet with Hillary Clinton's top donors. So, who is Donald Sussman, who, is very, very close with Cory Booker? Just a hedge fund manager that gave Hillary Clinton $21 million. Excuse me, let's be accurate. Gave Hillary Clinton's super PAC $21 million. And, you know, what's so interesting about Donald Sussman is his own cognitive dissonance. So, this is from the Washington Post. Are you ready? Again, Donald Sussman, friend of Cory Booker. Florida-based investor said he has contributed $40 million to Democratic super PACs and allied groups in 2016, double what he planned to spend at the beginning of the election. He said he was driven by the desire, quote, to leave my children a better country by helping elect a candidate who will restructure a system that allows such huge donations in the wake of the Supreme Court Citizens United decision. Quote, it's very odd to be giving millions when your objective is to actually get money out of politics, he said. I'm a very strong supporter of publicly financed campaigns, and I think the only way to accomplish that is to get someone like Secretary Clinton, who is committed to cleaning up the unfortunate disaster created by the activist court in Citizens United. The founder of the Paloma Fund, which is a hedge fund, Sussman has helped raise money for the Clintons since the 1990s, insisted he is not looking to get any personal benefits from his contributions. Well, sorry to tell you, Donald, but exposed. 3 of Hillary's mega donors are in the Panama Papers, another tied to $6.8 billion in tax avoidance scheme. And guess who one of those are? Can you take a guess who one of these people in the Panama Papers are? Say it with me now. Cory Booker's friend, Donald Sussman. Employees of hedge fund Paloma Partners have donated $4 million to Hillary Clinton's super PAC, Priorities USA. At least $2.5 million of that came in 2 checks written in 2015 by Donald Sussman, the founder of the hedge fund. Sussman also gave $343,000 to the Hillary Victory Fund. You know, that money laundering scheme between the DNC, Hillary's campaign, and state DNC parties. Sussman and Paloma Partners turn up in the ICIJ, which is a journalist foundation, offshore database from a document leak in 2013. Both he and his hedge funds are shown as connected to a company called Simply Radiant Limited, which was registered in the British Virgin Islands with an agent called Portcullis Trustnet. Oh, so what does that mean, folks? That's called offshore tax havens. So this man who's, he's just donating out of the kindness of his heart to stop the toxic effects, the toxic impact of money in politics. That's just what Cory Booker's friend, Donald Sussman, who apparently Cory Booker was at his daughter's wedding or something like that. That's why he's doing it. That's why he's donating $20 million to Hillary Clinton's super PAC. It must be because he just wants to be taxed more. He wants to be taxed more. He wants tighter regulation on his hedge funds. He wants the carried interest loop to be closed. That carried interest loop created just for hedge funds. Kimberly, you watching TYT now? No, I'm live. How could I watch TYT and be live at the same time? But I don't really watch the Young Turks nowadays. But I'm sure they're enjoying Cory Booker and Kamala Harris. I'm sure they're happy as a clam at their presidential runs over at the Young Turks. So, it's so interesting that Cory Booker, one of his top friends and top donors, is in the Panama Papers for offshore tax havens in the British Virgin Islands. So, am I being unfair? Well, it's not technically Cory Booker, doing the offshore tax havens, but it certainly is one of his donors. Is that who he's talking about with the love and unity? It must be. It must be. It must be. And then you have his latest gem. Voting for Donald Trump's $717 billion military budget. Yep, Cory Booker. Voting for an unprecedented, crazy military budget. Right there. That's Cory Booker. Yep, Cory Booker loves him some war, loves some U.S. foreign intervention, because he's in bed with all these people. People on Wall Street love war and military intervention. Big Pharma doesn't mind war. Boeing and all them certainly don't mind war. So, I can't take it anymore when you point these things out, which, by the way, as humbly as I could say it, I don't think you're going to get this information you're definitely not going to get this from corporate media. And frankly, I don't think you're going to get this from most independent media outlets, because frankly, a lot of these outlets don't do their research, or do their research, but kind of ignore the worst of it. So Cory Booker, he might be a charismatic guy. He might be somebody that inspires the masses for love and unity and all this stuff, but not exactly somebody who has ties to the working class. Not exactly somebody who has ties to the disappearing middle class. And when his supporters say, well, you don't have proof. You don't have proof that he votes a certain way because of his donors. So what's wrong if individuals who work in the big pharmaceutical industries donate to him? He comes from a state that has a lot of pharmaceutical employees. Well, do you want to help the pharmaceutical industry in New Jersey, or do you want to help the people overall that you represent in New Jersey be able to buy drugs at a cheaper price? What are your priorities? The specific industry that's price gouging drugs, that is pricing people out in many cases of life-saving drugs? Is that your priority? To basically vote for things that will enrich their wallets? Not, by the way, he's not voting for it to enrich the worker bees, the average workers that work at these companies. He's voting for these things to keep the money flowing to the top of these big pharmaceutical companies. It's not trickling down to the worker bees at these pharmaceutical companies. I am anti-Cory Booker. And, oh boy, can you imagine if we have the funding to cover this campaign? Oh my God. Oh my God. Ooh, am I going to get in front of Cory Booker? No violence, but I will get in front of Cory Booker. And if you enjoyed me confronting Donna Brazile, oh, you haven't seen anything yet. You have not seen anything out yet. I'm just getting started. So, you know the drill. If you're not a member yet, statuscoup.com/join. This is the only way we're going to be able to cover this campaign. We have got to grow our paid membership. If we grow our paid membership, we will have the consistent money to cover a campaign. You can become a $5 status slayer, a $10 coup de champion, a $20 coup de commander, or annually $147 a year, part of the coup de cavalry. And we're doing great stuff all the time. We just did a members only chat last night. I think we did it for like an hour and a half. And some of you have reached out who missed it that are members to see if it'll be available. And yes, it will be available. We're going to post it on the website, statuscoup.com, for members and for patrons as well. So we really hope if you're looking at your budget for February and beyond, how much is real information and real, aggressive, honest journalism worth to you? How much do you spend? What do you spend $5 on a day? What do you spend $10 on a week? $20 on a month? And Mitch, when you say, I used to respond more, I don't know what you mean. I respond as much as I humanly can to the viewers, but I am doing 25 things at once. So, now that we've addressed Cory Booker, I have exciting news about our Sunday marathon super duper duper chat Sunday. We have some exciting guests this Sunday, noon Eastern. Are you ready? Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Who needs the Super Bowl? We got the Super Show. Middle East-based journalist Rania Khalek will be on. Jill Stein, the presidential Green Party candidate from 2016. That's why I was late today. I was interviewing her. We spoke for 40 minutes. And Mike from the Humanist Report will be on with us. I'm not positive. I'm trying to make it happen, but we might do a follow-up interview with Ben Norton. Ben Norton to update us on the Venezuela situation. So I know the Super Bowl's coming up. I know people are going to be watching that. We're going to start same time we normally do, 12 Eastern. That would be noon Eastern time, Sunday. Obviously, we do this for GoFundMe and to grow our GoFundMe and to grow our membership so you could get the party started early. There's the GoFundMe link in the Super Chat. And again, here's the membership link. We do as long as we can, long form interviews that you're not going to see in most places. Rania is so smart about the United States empire, the oligarchy, and all the terrible things going on. So we talked about that. Obviously, I don't need to explain Jill Stein to you. Jill Stein is, I have a lot of respect for her. I think there's a lot of propaganda out there about Jill Stein that's not fair and not true. And Mike from the Humanist Report, I think he does great work at the Humanist Report. So trying to bring you the best of the best every week. It's not easy. Definitely not easy to get, high-level guests each week. But we're definitely trying to get as many great people as we can. So that's the deal, folks. I hope you'll join us. I hope you'll join as a member to statuscoup.com. Again, you could do it as low as $5 a month. And by the way, for full transparency, we are having conversations. We are having conversations with some other entities at trying to get larger funding. So it helps to try and get larger funding to show them, hey, we have X amount of paid members bringing in X amount per month. They want to see that. When I say they, I mean progressive entities. We're not meeting with Goldman Sachs. We're not meeting with Democratic Party donors and plutocrats. We're trying to get larger funding from individuals or organizations that are aligned with our values. We're not taking any shortcuts here. So, thank you, Fantoma. I just became a member. Love ya. Thanks for becoming a member. And every single member counts. Even if it's $5 a month, it counts. It's important. Mitch Devi, how cute is my niece? Oh, I'm so excited to see her tomorrow. Her name is Colby. I would have showed you a picture, but my sister-in-law might have killed me if I did that, so I didn't. But in time, I'll show you a picture. She is so beautiful. She has the cutest little cheeks. And I don't know, I'm not a father yet, but holding her, I kind of got that, I don't know, I guess I got a little bug. I got a little bug that, somewhere down the line, I definitely want children. And you know what? Whew! I had to stop myself because I just wanted to sit there with her and just explain from the beginning so she gets it early, about the oligarchy. But haven't done that yet. Rob, I became a member yesterday. Thank you very much. Thank you. Joe, that's not full transparency. What are you talking about? What's not full transparency? You'd have to be more specific. Babies are great. Congrats. TYT is saying Booker isn't that bad and that the only major issue with him is his donors, nothing else. Doesn't surprise me. Jordan, have you heard of Graham Elwood? Yeah, he's a great comedian. I like him a lot. And thanks for the congrats. Congrats for the niece. I look forward to seeing her tomorrow. I'm going to spend some time there with my niece and now my nephew. And, when you have a new baby in the family, now the nephew is a little jealous because he's not getting enough attention. So now I have to really spend some time with both of them. Hey, yeah, Jill Stein, Mike for the Humanist Report, Rania Kellick. It is a hell of a lineup. Thank you. And yes, I love her. I love her name too. I think they really did a good thing with the name. So I'm looking forward to the marathon. I'm really excited. Like the interview with Jill Stein, I thought was really good. She was on with CNN earlier this week, and they really tried to paint her into a corner and make her admit I work for Russia, and it was just embarrassing and shameful what they did to Jill Stein. So we did a good interview. We touched Venezuela, the Russia stuff, the 2020. As well as ranked choice voting, which doesn't get talked about a lot, but she's been pushing ranked choice voting, and it's already going in place in Maine. So it's very important. So we'll see what happens with that. So I hope you'll join me on Sunday. You could get the party started early, so you know the drill. We're trying to grow. We got a goal of 70,000. We're already at 41,000 on our GoFundMe. So there you go. GoFundMe. There's no amount too small. $5, $10, $15. And by the way, I just sent out some shirts yesterday. We sent out 5 shirts, status quo shirts yesterday. So as a reminder, if you donate $100, you get status quo hat or shirt. 127 gets you both. You get that white swag bag at 200. Backpack at $250. So unfortunately, they sent the shirts and the hats separately. So they sent the shirts to me and the hats to Jen. So that's why there's been a little delay. But I'm going to get the hats tomorrow from Jen, and then I'm going to be able to mail out a hell of a lot more packages because a lot of you who donated, we haven't had the chance to send it, which is bad on us. But Jen's doing 25 things at once. I'm doing 25 things at once, so we apologize for the delay. But you will get your swag. You have my word. Yes, we sent it via UPS. I think. The ones I sent out yesterday are coming, should be getting there Monday. And off the top of my head, let me see. I could actually tell you who I sent it to. Maybe you're the lucky winner. Stick with me for a second. Do 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 do. Who did I send it to? Hold on. Okay, we sent to Vance Bernikoff, Julie Alberding, Jean Genevieve, and Lorelei Rosecrans. So those 4 we mailed out yesterday, and we got about 15 to 20 more to go. and we're just waiting for those hats. So you'll all get it as soon as humanly possible. So thanks for being patient. This was a shorter live stream, so I'll do some Q&A before I go. And I'm excited. I'm really excited for this Sunday marathon with Jill Stein, Rania Khalek, and Mike Figueredo. So, who has a question, comment, concern? Hit me. And Rob, by the way, I saw that you said you sent a GoFundMe comment, but when I typed in your name, it only shows the GoFundMe donation. It doesn't show a comment. So if you put in a comment, it didn't go through. So if you want to leave a comment here, I'll be happy to read it. Congrats to your mom and dad on new granddaughter Colby. I will tell them. They're both very excited. Let's see. Mohammed, still waiting for my shirt? I promise you're getting it, Mohammed. On my word. You'll get it. Jordan, what do you suggest we do when it becomes apparent that the DNC is rigging again? Riot in the streets. Yes. I don't endorse violence, but I do endorse aggressive action. And if you have to shut stuff down, you have to shut stuff down. That's what I suggest. But no violence. That's what I suggest. Harris being toughest progressive article? Yeah, I talked about that like 2 weeks ago. That she's not a progressive. Check the channel. I covered that article about 2 weeks ago, I think. Cheryl, I set you up during a marathon. You go ahead and do it, and I get nothing? What do you mean you set me up? Be more specific. Kelly, I never have questions because you cover everything so well. Why, thank you, Kelly. And thank you for continually donating to the GoFundMe. Kelly must be donating at least $5 every day. So I really, really appreciate it. It makes a big difference. And I get excited every time I see an email with your name. Henry, I spent at least an hour today having a really friendly conversation about politics with a Trump supporter. I'm so glad I don't have to do that on a regular basis. Yeah, definitely moderate. Let me tell you something. All those Trump rallies I covered took a hell out of my brain. Star Trek and Jordan, talk to your niece about centralized banks. I shall, but I don't. Not until she's vaccinated, which I know a lot of you have thoughts of. After 2016, we'll be watching even closer, I hope. Yes, me too. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for Tulsi campaign launch. Yes, Tulsi is announcing her campaign tomorrow in Hawaii, so I'll cover that on Sunday. Have you tried the Ben & Jerry non-dairy ice cream yet? No, I haven't, but I'm going to try that. I haven't gotten a chance to. You mentioned it to me yesterday. I got to go buy it. William, Bernie as president would not support a coup, obviously. The right wing uses Venezuela as a hot button. He has to be smart. I agree. I told you to do a marathon and you do it. That's true. That's true. You are right. Antonio, hey, Jordan, are you now always live at 5:30? No. I was. So there's a comments. There's a community section. So what you could click on videos on this channel, but there's also a community section where I post comments. So I usually post in the community if I'm going to be late. Today I was late because I was interviewing Jill Stein right before, and it bled over. I finished with her about 5:15. So no, I'm going to be going live at 5, but today I was late because that's when she was available. So I wanted to take the opportunity to interview her. We spoke for 40 minutes, so we will air it on Sunday along with Rania Khalek and Mike Figueredo. Jesse Ventura for a guest? I would love to have Jesse Ventura as a guest. Love, love, love. Email me and remind me. I got so many things on my plate. Please cover net neutrality, Jordan. Brian says. What about it? Is something going on that I don't know about, Brian? Let me know. I'm glad your sister is smart and will vaccinate her kids. She's very smart, Julie. Get the almond brittle. Ooh, that sounds tasty. Brendan Jerry should bring back Bernie's yearning. Oh my God, I love Bernie's yearning. Smashing the 1% at the top. It's fantastic. Sanders Kana 2020, a new fan of Kana, seems right on. Yes, but I can't. Nothing wrong with Ro Khanna, but I'm a Nina Turner kind of guy. I think Sanders Nina Turner would be an unstoppable ticket. Let's see. Oh, Brian says Jordan court case today on net neutrality. You know, Brian, you bring up a good point. I'm not asking for pity, but I want you guys to know, it's kind of hard to be up on every single thing. It's kind of hard to be up on every single thing all the time because at the same time, I'm, in addition to going live at 5 o'clock, I'm doing interviews during the week, and I'm also speaking on the phone to sources and trying to break other news stories. And now, after the phone call I had yesterday with the state of Michigan, I spent most of today trying to compile old email exchanges I had with Governor Rick Snyder's office, as well as the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality, putting those together to send them to the powerful government official I spoke with yesterday. And I'm being intentionally subtle because I do not want to jinx it, and I don't want to give the entities and the agencies and the former governor that they might be looking into any advance notice of who might be looking into them. So I'll leave it at that. MacArthur, Jordan, Cory Booker's an Obama clone, no more Obamas. Yeah, I could see that. I don't say it that way because, of course, you'll be painted as racist. But yeah, I think he's very similar to Obama. I think Kamala Harris, frankly, the way she talks and some of her narrative, verbal themes are very similar to Obama. So I think that's fair. And Henry, by the way, I did write down to reach out for an interview with that person you told me to. So that's on my list. Legrand, I hope that works out, Jordan. Me too. So, Sanders is a warmonger against socialist Venezuela. I wouldn't go that far, MK. I didn't love his answer, but I don't think he's a warmonger. I think he does need to be stronger against regime change. He kind of played both sides and said Maduro is a dictator and blah, 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 but at the same time, we can't do regime change. No, this isn't about Maduro. It's about the United States and consistent, never-ending, imperial regime change and military adventurism and oligarchy and imperialism. That's it. By the way, we're fine with the dictator Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. We didn't have a problem with him until he executed a journalist. Didn't have a problem that he's dropping bombs and killing children on school buses in Yemen. So we're cool with that dictator. We're not cool with Maduro. The hell out of here. So, as a reminder, folks, get ready. Big Sunday show. Big Sunday show. Noon Eastern. So I hope to see you there. I hope, for those of you that are still on the fence, I hope you'll go check out our membership options. I hope you will, after checking it out, become a member. And as soon as you become a member, you get access to all the bonus content we're putting in there. So get ready. And I look forward to seeing you Sunday. And there is the link one more time to become a member. If you are already a member, your work is not there then. You are part of the media revolution. So then I need you to go tell people. I need you to go tell people about this. Tell people about status quo. Because you know what? It ain't only progressives who care about clean water. It ain't only progressives who care about the environment. It ain't only progressives who care about money in politics. There's a lot of Trump supporters I met that were pretty pissed off about the Wall Street bailout. And we're pretty pissed off about how much money these politicians are taking. So there's a lot of people that you wouldn't expect would be into this kind of journalism. Thank you for watching. And remember, most people are not lacking compassion in this country. Most people, especially those supporting Cory Booker, have no idea what's going on. Peace out.